On Barry Charles' Footy Show today, Kev Walters on his way to a 3-game Kangaroo coaching job. Was he the right choice? Kyle Flanagan, should he be dropped? Is Shane Flanagan in a bubble that he doesn't listen to anybody? Papali'i, 300k offer from the Raiders, absolute pitiful. He's worth double that at least. Surely one of the other clubs that are struggling, the Knights, Titans, Cowboys will be coming with a big offer. And Ponga, yes, Ponga, should he leave the Knights to save them and help them rebuild with Fletcher Sharp ready-made replacement to go to fullback, with the chance to buy the likes of a Sandor Smith and a Mose Leota. They need a key prop and a gun halfback. That's what they need. Ponga's overpaid. Time to go. Right here, right now, on Barry Charles Footy Show. Welcome back, guys and girls, to the channel. Getting ready for the finals footy. But before that, Kangaroo selection. Absolute interesting selection of Kev Walters for only 3 games. What's doing there? Well, clearly Kev Walters wants one of these coaching jobs. I'm hearing the Titans. There's the Cowboys as well. He clearly has only signed us 3 years because he wants one of these coaching gigs. And one of these clubs are happy for him to be the coach. That's where I'm aiming at. Why would you sign 3 years otherwise? I mean, 3-game otherwise? Clearly he wants to be a coach, and he's hoping he's going to get it with either the Titans or the Cowboys. Interesting to see if they go down that track, either of those clubs, but clearly that is why they've gone this process. Also in this process, it looks like they want Cam Smith to be the assistant coach so he can lead into being the coach next year for Australia, because he's only coached a little bit for Queensland. That's what I've been hearing. But clearly, if you ask any Queensland player, you ask any current Australian player, who would they love to be coached by? I tell you what, one of the first names on their list would be Cameron Smith, regardless if he's coached much at all. He is the best player ever to play the game. He might not be the Flash Shaun Johnsons and the Jonathan Thurstons and those likes players, but in terms of controlling a game from the 0 minute to the 80th minute, there's no one better. Absolutely no one better than Cameron Smith in that regard. He was the Melbourne Storm's 14th man a lot of times, as he was another referee on the field. But absolutely, Cam Smith is the gun. He is the gun of this team, and he deserves to be, I believe, the Australian coach going forward. We'll see if that happens. But there's a little bit of drucks and drakes with Cameron Smith talking about that he only got a few phone calls. I believe there was more phone calls than that. But interesting to see how the future holds there. But do I think Kevy's the right choice? Kevy is probably good in short bursts. That's what I'm getting. But then he starts, I think, getting a few funny ideas if he's stretched out of a long season, Kev Walters. But in the short term stakes of this, I think he'll be good. He'll be fine. But from what I heard, he's not a tactician. And that's, you don't necessarily need a tactician at the Kangaroos level, but sometimes you do, because you're playing a lot stronger teams than you used to. Before, you could be the Kangaroos coach and you'd win regardless how good a coach you are. But now, you actually have to really start coaching a little bit more to develop the players, instead of just being club footy players. Instead, they've got to be more than Origin. They've got to be elite, so they can take on the likes of the Kiwis, England, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, and the likes. So that is Papua New Guinea. I have to put them in there. All these teams, that's where Cam Smith comes in. He will technician it down to the key. Whether or not he can get the number 9 to play the way he did, that ain't going to happen. But he'll know enough about Harry Grant, and he has Billy Slater around to help him as well. Papali'i, yes, 300k. Wow. I absolutely hate this rubbish that these gun players have to take less money to finish their career. A little bit, yes, but if they're on $1 million, say Cherry Evans, I hear he's going to get highly paid, but a lot of players keep getting cut at the end of their career. like Tedesco's taking cuts, players are taking cuts to continue. I understand taking a little bit of a cut, but a major pay cut, like half your salary, to me, just it's ridiculous. It's unfair. I think players deserve better that have been playing long into their careers. They deserve to continue to get paid well. Um, to get their pay dropped just to keep some other players. I don't get it. If they're good enough, they should get paid what they deserve, not just a token gesture. Oh, we'll pay you half so we can have someone. I understand why players and they do it. They've made a lot of money in their careers and they do it. But to be fair, if a player's worth 700,000, they should get paid 700,000. Simple as that. That's the way I see it. If the salary cap is really working, that's what happens. It's not like the top teams get stronger and stronger. But yeah, for me, Papali'i, you're kidding me. But I wouldn't be surprised if he still ends up staying at Raiders. But the Knights, Titans, Cowboys, there's three teams that come to mind that need a gun prop. I mean, Titans have props, but I mean, in terms of needing to improve their roster, if these are teams that will pay bigger money. That's what I'm saying. Some of the other teams on the list wouldn't do it. Melbourne Storm, the Roosters, those types would pay 300k and be a stopgap measure. And I understand that. But some of these other ones think, well, but the question mark, do you think any of them can win a premiership? The answer is no to all three of them next year. None of them. Newcastle. Yeah. Titans, Cowboys. None of them are winning a premiership next year. Let's just get it true. Cowboys are probably most likely if they can get something going, but there's just something wrong with the Cowboys. They just can't defensively get there. That's their biggest IQ. Todd Payton can't get them there defensively, and it's a big key to winning comps, and that's why I think Todd Payton's out the door. Yes, Todd Payton out the door for mine. But yeah, Papali'i deserves better. That's all I'm saying. Kyle Flanagan continues to get picked. Now, this is not a bash on Kyle Flanagan, but if your team keeps losing, and you keep picking the same team, what's going to happen? You're going to keep losing. That's basically it. I know they've been close, but at the end of the day, Kyle Flanagan is there to seal the game. He has not iced the game at all. I'm not saying Lachlan Ilias is any better player, but Lachlan Ilias has been winning and thinking to be more confidence up. Give the guy a game. If not Lachlan Ilias, the other guy there who I think is on the move. That's where the Dragons should be looking. For what I heard, Kyle Flanagan was supposed to be number 9. Put him at 9. And decide who your halfback is. You're going backwards here, the Dragons. You're supposed to improve. You've got to look at what your team's going to be like into the future as well. Because they're not going to win the comp this year. They're not even going to make the top 8. Make the calls. They're not going to, but they need to make the calls. And make it. Because, yes, I expected the Dragons not to do well. But I thought Shane Flanagan's a real good coach, but I don't know what's happening, mate. You got to get going. But is he in bubble land, Shane Flanagan? Kyle Flanagan should not be. Well, I'm not saying should not be playing, but they should give someone else a go. As simple as that. But that's the way the father-son duo goes. And yes, Newcastle. This is my big talking point by the end of the season. Ponga to be released, to open up the gates for a rebuild of the Knights, because the salary cap is out of whack. They've already just signed Sandor Brown to big money. They can't have 2 players on big money and expect to win the comp. Now, Melbourne Storm did, but it was less money. Now, 1.4 or 1.3 million, something like that, for both these players takes up nearly quarter of your cap. You ain't winning the comp with that because the rest of your team is not good enough. But if you got rid of Ponga and you brought in a Sandor Smith, I'm not saying Sandor Smith is a top class, but in terms of who's available in the market right now, he's your best option. And if you could get like a Mose Leota or a player of that ilk, or get a young buck like Lika Halisema come into the squad, then boom, Newcastle Knights look a lot better team. Obviously, Kalyn Ponga would be nice to be there, but he's just on too much money. Just on too much money for the salary caps restrictions. If Kalyn Ponga was getting $1 million and then getting 800k in the third parties, like a lot of clubs do, then we would be right. But I'm pretty sure he's getting the 1.5 million and the third party agreements as well. So he's all about the money. I don't blame him about the money, but it ruins your team's chances of winning the comp. And as simple as that, since he's been paid that much money, he's not on the field long enough. I'm not saying the field long enough is not the question. He is talented, there's no doubt about it. But in terms of salary cap management and having the players around him to be a premiership threat, he needs to take his money back and open the gates. Or he takes a reduction, but they're not going to do that. They don't do reductions in the NRL. But if he took the reduction and went back to 1.2, then you'd have a chance to see the rest of the squad be at least better. If you're getting another 300k there, if Dylan Brown signed for $1 million, then this club could actually turn it around. But signing him for 1.3, no, it's just absolute madness. But they wanted a big fish, and they thought Dylan Brown was their big fish. I don't know if he was the big fish that you really want, but that's who they went with. But yes, Newcastle, something's got to give, and I think Adam O'Brien will be the one saying goodbye to. But again, who are they going to put in there? Who do you put in there? If you could convince Manny Johns and Andrew Johns, maybe they're the way to go, but I'm not Blake Green. I don't think he's the answer. But anyway, who knows? It's rugby league. Anyway, that's Barry Charles Footy Show for this episode. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with another video soon.